Okay, thanks for joining us back. In part two of our Words Have Infinite Power series, you'll agree when the ancient Greek philosopher Heraclitus said, "The only constant in life is change." Every moment of every day, of every year of your entire life, and even when you're gone, change continues. It's a grand design on an infinite track. It's a necessity for existence and evolution. So think about it. Can you imagine a lackluster world where everything remains stagnant? No growth, no innovation, no evolution? That's not what you're all about. That's not why you're here looking for better ways to grow. So perhaps it's best said change is inevitable. And it is. We see it in nature all around us, every day of the year. So why don't people like change? Why do we resist so much? Well, the human species as a whole doesn't really like change. We created an unpredictable world in which to live, so there's always going to be some kind of change. There's always something changing everywhere with everything. It's going to happen, and sometimes all at once. Today's technology in the modern world creates almost an inescapable environment chaos, anger, fear, and sorrow. It may not have designed that way, but as any great invention, it has a dark side that can be manipulated to serve many purposes. And we're not just talking about the internet. We're talking about your newspapers. We're talking about your television, your news stations, even some of your programs. They all reflect and enact change using words that create change to serve someone else's purpose, but not yours. What scientists say is that we can only handle so much on a daily basis. Our ability to perceive and maintain the stable of our lives is finite, with a daily limit. When you start to feel that anxiety is because you've exhausted your ability to fend off the disruption anymore. And that's where we come in. We understand and perceive life as a storm. We subscribe to the idea of learning how to remain in the eye of the storm, with the chaos that's swirling around you day after day, trying to affect you. It's like the little fisherman in his boat sitting in the center amongst the calmness within a maelstrom of chaos and just fishing. Only fishing. Nothing bothering him. Doing what he loves best. Wouldn't you like to get that eye of the storm? Experience the calmness and the peace? Or the control? Well, you're going to learn more in this episode, so stay tuned as we go back into our month-long run on words.
So I'd like to start off with getting some infinity juices going here. Okay, it's infinity matrix juices going. I'm going to put a word up on the screen in a moment. I'm going to put a word up on the screen, and I want each of you to give me a definition of what you think the word means. Now, there's no cheating on this one, okay? There's no sense doing a search because this word isn't a real word, which means there will be no wrong answers, okay? Every definition will be valid. But based on the letters that are combined, the sounds they make, and the way each of you interpret those components, I'd like to see what kind of definitions you come up with. Okay. Now, to make it easy for us to distinguish the definition within all the other comments, because we're going to come back to these and comment on them, so that we can distinguish it. Please use the format I'm going to show on the screen here. We'll start with that, and let's see if sure, that'll work. Okay. So start with the format where it says word, and then colon, and then definition, whatever your definition is, and where you'll obviously replace word with the word I give you, and the definition will be your definition. Okay, so are you ready? So here we go. I'm going to hide. Let me take that one out and show that one there. All right, so your word is imouche, or imouche, or imouche, or amouche. However you want to, however it sounds and comes together for you. All right. Think about it and come up with a definition. Then let us know what that is in the comments, and I'll jump back on later to go over these to make a point with it, obviously. And I'll be back sometime later in the stream. So this will give you a window of time to get creative with it as well, and to come up with what you think that definition for emouche, E-M-O-U-S-H-E. So go ahead and tell us in the definitions. Make sure you add the word with the definition, with the colon and the definition, so that we distinguish it from any other. There we go. We got some nice. Okay, some are coming in. Okay, go ahead and do that, and I'll jump back on and touch base while Ross kind of goes over some stuff. And let's look at some of the definitions to see, what those set of characters in that sequence with those sounds, how they collectively came together and created some kind of meaning, and how it impacted all of you. So let's review some of them. I was showing them up on screen, but let's actually go through some of them, okay? Because you guys came up with some really great ones. And if any others spur up while I'm going through these, then by all means throw them in too, because again, the more you participate, the more you'll get from them. All right, so the first one I think was emouche, making a mess of things. All right, so thanks for that one. And then another one is sounds like you're singing. Oh, let's show them backwards there. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. And then the next one is mixed feelings. Emouche. Next one is, my definition is a type of animal. And then another one is a group of like-minded people. That's a good one. Oh, I like this. Okay. And then Catherine says it's a loving hug. I like that. That's awesome. And then Hannah says a house mouse. All right. And then Sarah is a type of mustache, or moustache. And where else we're going to go down? Emotions is a tribe of connection among emus. Sure, that works. And then Dimitri says,
I think I saw them on Star Wars. I'm not sure.
Yeah. All right, good. So we got some really good ones there, right? So thanks everyone who played along. And if you're watching this on the replays, you can please play along. We do come back and check these out. Remember to add the word and the definition. That way we can distinguish it from all the other stuff. So I'd like to point out here that because this word doesn't really exist in any language that I'm aware of, it allowed for you to have a clean slate to give it meaning. Okay? Once you give it meaning, you transfer energy into the word, and then that word takes form into the world. And the more you use that word and get others to use it and agree to that definition, the more power and the more energy it accumulates, until it's accepted. It's an accepted part of your personal lexicon or dictionary of words, if you will, to use to verify the world experience you have on a day-to-day and moment-to-moment basis. So when it comes to far less addictive than other opioids, as a set of words, each with their own definition assigned to a drug, when they're put together, they're then assigned to that drug. The people who created those words with those definitions and picked those words out had to understand how the formulation of those words would be received by the masses. Correct. So let's break it down. Far less. Remember, far less addictive than other opioids is the 6 words. So far less immediately distances the drug mentally, emotionally, and psychologically from the next word in the sequence. Okay, which is addictive. So it's far less addictive, right? It doesn't put it in such close proximity. So your mind thinks of the drug on many levels of experience. When it thinks of it, it puts it in a category that's almost safe because it's far less addictive.
Exactly.
And then when you add the comparative, then other opioids, right? It makes you bring the other opioids to the forefront as the really bad stuff.
Correct.
Right? So those are the ones you should be worried about because this one is far less addictive than those. Right? And so that's the breakdown of how they did it. But at the end of the day, we as individuals have the power and we have to take responsibility. I think we have the power to take responsibility for what we allow and what we accept into our reality as okay and acceptable. We have the power to feed those words or to weaken them. And that's why we believe this month's topic and this month's theme of exploring and understanding how, why, and even when words have power is so important. So that we are empowered and can step into our freedom of choice, our freedom from things that confuse, disempower, confine our power. And that's what happens when you start to see all the energetic connections a single word can have. And then when you put them together, how they compound. Right? It gives you a perspective of the immediate and the long-term potential impact that word or set of words can have on your reality. So let's do another exercise here. Okay. On the screen, you're going to see, I'm going to put another one up here. Let me roll that over here. There you go. Okay. So on the screen, and depending on what kind of device you're using, it might be small, but on the screen, you'll see the word, and the word in the center of the page or that image is freedom. That's in the center, is freedom. And all around are empty circles. And I want you to play with this if you can right now, and if not, come back and do it later. That's fine. But I want you to play with this as an exercise, as your kind of like a mini hack into the reality of the infinity matrix. Your task is to get a pen and paper. In the center of the page, I'd like you to have here, in there, you want to write one word. Okay? It could, really any word will do. But I'd like you to start with freedom, because I think that's relevant for the times we're in right now. I want you to put the word freedom. Then I want you to draw circles around that central word, similar to what you see, how you see it on the in the image. It doesn't have to be exactly like mine. Okay, make it your own. Right. Then I want you to think about the word that's in the center. Right, and this time it's going to be a word that's already has built-in meaning, unlike imush. Right? So it will already have thoughts, feelings, memories, and associations attached to it. So whatever comes up for you, go ahead and record it in those circles. All right. And then let your ideas just branch out in any direction as far out as it needs to. So one circle could say freedom to, and then freedom from, and then the one after that could be freedom to choose a career. The other one is freedom to or freedom from the negativity in the world or negative messages or whatever. And then freedom. What does that mean? Is anything that comes up for you, go ahead and freedom equals or kindness or whatever comes up. Go ahead and do that word association, if you will, And what you're basically going to do is you're going to create a constellation impact of that word. It's a really great exercise to do. Right? If you find if you find that there's a word that someone says that triggers you and sets you off, this is a great exercise. Okay, you put the word in the center, and then you put out all the meaningful things, then the thoughts, emotions, feelings, memories, anything associated to that word. So you get to start to see this constellation. That it's not just one thing how it impacts you. There's a multitude of things, that you're giving meaning to that word. Right? Meaning you get the full power and energy that you've given or accepted for that word in your life when you see this constellation. Okay? And this is really a sneak peek into how you can ultimately hack the infinity matrix. I mean, it's the ultimate hack. Okay? It's using what's already existing as a code or program in your reality that you experience, stripping it down to a place where it isn't locked into just a finite definition, right? You strip it down to its bare bones, and then from the choice convergence point, you rebuild it, rewire it, reinforce it in a way that serves you to live your life to the fullest and experience all that you deserve and desire. And the fundamentals of that is what we actually teach in our 7-day event, The Art of Designing Your Reality. Okay, and we'll actually be releasing start date for the next event soon. When the next event starts soon, we'll be releasing that over the next little bit here. If you want to get advanced notice of that, you can join our VIP on the private Facebook group, which you mentioned earlier, facebook.com/groups/the Infinity Matrix. And get on the VIP, you'll get advanced notice if you aren't already a member. Or you can simply type #7days in the chat, and Ross and I will reach out to you and add you to the list and notification of when we're going to be doing that next event.
Yeah, it's a phenomenal program. It really is. We look forward to seeing everybody there. So if we look at many of the religious models from 450 AD forward, it's so important that people get this. You're not going to church, but rather you're going to enter the first information collecting system on planet Earth. Because when you replicate a behavior over and over every single day, and you're given a book, a guide, a manifesto, whatever you want to call it, and it has specific words with specific definitions, the control, which can be defined as power, is now in place. And this isn't any kind of an attempt to disrespect anyone's belief systems in any way. I'm simply pointing out a control system that is almost solely based on words, or at least it was in the very beginning. And with this, I can refer back to Oppenheimer's quote, "There are only secrets about the thoughts and intentions of men, not God as it's defined." So many of these tools are amazing, especially for the times they were created. In and of itself, if someone was exceptionally intelligent and he asked, "What if I tell you of the possibility to walk on water?" Would you be interested in hearing more about that? Or, "You need to see this guy. He turns water into wine." "Oh, I know this guy who can heal sick people and make the lame walk, while all the other healers can't." So wouldn't you be interested to hear about the resurrecting of people from the dead? So my point here is when it's precisely phrased And you obviously realize the inflections in my voice, etc. When it's precisely phrased, you might think that's pretty cool. I want to hear more. I want to get involved. Or, here's my wallet. Where do I sign? The knowledge and skill of articulating rhetoric can be considered a very cunning skill and in high demand, because knowledge is power. Knowledge is power. And power becomes control. So from here, we can look at the industry of marketing, as this covers a plethora of topics around the use of words and phrases. For words in their simplest form cause point of focus. And you don't need words for point of focus unless there's more than one of you, which is the primary purpose of advertising and marketing. So in communicating with others, words cause people to become or to come together to a point of focus. So they have the potential of gathering momentum. 100,000 copies already sold. Supplies are running out. Get them while they last. 10,000 reviews can't be wrong. And many of you probably have no idea how really good copywriters are paid for their skills in wordsmithing. Sometimes months go into writing a good piece of advertising and the copy. Sometimes just weeks, sometimes just days. It's selling without selling, marketing without marketing, and storytelling at its absolute finest. So most people do not use words to their momentous advantage because most people don't understand the vibrational nature of words, their energy, their real power. So they offer words which they do extract a vibration, and they do have a somewhat focused vibration, but in a rather unfocused way. It's a kind of a randomized use. So the momentum doesn't get going. And the infinity matrix receives, let's say, kind of a partial message. So, but, well, think of it like this, and we've gone over this in previous live streams before, but this is so important. And this is where you kind of get that partial message. I want it, but it's hard to accomplish. I would like to have that, but I really, really would like to have a new car. But new cars are very expensive, and money isn't coming well to me right now. I would really like to have more money, but the economy's slow. I'm not understanding why this isn't working for me. Most common question. So these words are not being used to their energetic advantage because the focus is immediately diluted. So what we want this live stream to really get through for everyone is the idea of using words to your advantage by understanding that there is a vibration in every word, because there is a vibration in every point of communication that you are offering to everyone else, and definitely offering to the infinity matrix.
Yeah, and the thing to remember is that words are just a set of characters put together. That's it. They make a certain set of sounds together. And in and of themselves, broken apart, there is no meaning and therefore no power except what you give it and what you feed it. So again, the power is back in your lap to do with it what you wish, to give it the vibrational energy that supports the words you want to describe your reality and the impact it can have or not have on you.
Exactly. It's really important. So, and think of it like this, and then we've stressed this, since the very beginning, is that when you're in a conversation with someone and you might start to kind of feel, kind of a weird feeling, it's because something that they're saying is not resonating with you. We've all experienced that. And at that point is when you ask them, can you define that? What exactly do you mean by that? Because their definition might be different than yours, or slightly different, or completely different, or 180 degrees different, and such, because it's different for everyone. They're all, what Gary was saying, all of those things that have happened to build that word, to build their definition from their past, and let's use an example. And Gary, I'm going to add this in because I just read this yesterday. Imagine that 6-year-old, okay, was learning the definition of the word burn, okay, compared to, say, their brother or sister. Well, they learned the definition of the word burned by touching a hot stove. Their brother or sister learned the definition of burned by witnessing what a hot stove does to their sibling.
Oh, I lost Ross. Ross got burnt by the internet. The internet architect just burnt Ross. So let's wait for him to come back, because I'm not sure what point he was going with, and so I can't elaborate anymore on that. But yeah, so while he comes back in, let me just really emphasize here that, because I see it so often where people give up their power and just whatever words are thrown at them, they react or respond to that and don't realize or understand that they're just words. Okay, and so I think it's important for us to really embrace that and choose what those words can mean to us and how they can impact and empower us. Because again, burn for one person could mean something completely different to another, right? I mean, it depends on what definition, what emotion, what they've attached to it, and what they fed it for energy. Right? Where is he? There you go. Hold on, I'm bringing you in 1 second. There we go. Yeah, I was just telling everybody you got burnt by the internet.
Actually, I was listening to everything you said.
Oh, that's bizarre. Just your camera went.
The software, yeah. So anyhow, the point that I was making is what Gary said.
6-year-old.
Because we all have that attachment to that word and that definition. It's different. And I mean, I can bring up something. I mean, I have a friend who has been in numerous car accidents. You bring up car accident and you just see him stiffen up. Okay. I've had fender benders. So to me, it's just like, it's a fender bender. But he's been seriously hurt. So it's different for everyone. So it's why it's so important that we all understand words, their definitions, and also the fact of understanding that your definition may not be exactly the same as the person that you're trying to do. And that's where we've talked about, whether it be with social media and such, and these, this reactionary attitude that we've taken towards, 160 characters or whatever it is. But anyhow, so here's the thought, or there is a thought. There's a thought that vibration behind all of it. Okay? A thought by vibration. Did you know that your thoughts had vibration?
Which we hold in our bodies, right? So we're talking about the energy of words today. We hold those and store those within our body, in the cellular structure. That's why it's important for us to have control of that. Next week we're going to talk a little bit more about even some of what I'll tease you a little bit. Next week we're going to talk a little bit of something what's called organ language, where the words you use can actually impact and affect the functioning of the organs of your body.
Exactly. So if you're choosing words based upon how they feel. Now you're contouring your vibration through your choice of words because of the way that they feel. And that's gaining your momentum. So we really like the discussion of precise words combined with the energetic resonance with the intention to create momentum on a very direct trajectory. Imagine if you and your circle of friends began speaking with precise intention, resonance, and with far less effort than they ever realized. And you began to choose words more deliberately, not based upon how they sound to someone else, but based upon how they make you feel and how it makes them feel. You know, have you ever heard someone speaking, whether it be on TV or on the internet or in person, especially, and you're just like, wow. It's because they combined all of this. They had all this completely in sync. And it's brilliant. And there are absolutely genuine belief systems out there and the control systems integrated within many of those systems. But as the public becomes more and more intelligent, those systems are now being questioned and disregarded or abandoned altogether. And this is the other side of knowledge is power. Because now you have the knowledge and you have the power. Are you seeing where this is going? Is everybody still with me? Give me a thumbs up. Let me know. Let us know.
There's a quote I want to end with today, and it goes like this. By words, the mind is excited and the spirit elated. And it's by Aristophanes, a 5th century BC dramatist. And here's a nice ending thought to entertain until the next time you join us. Think of your mind as a musical instrument, and the words you choose to think silently, to speak out loud, or to write artistically are musical notes that harmonize into a vibrational melody that you experience as reality. Think of it that way, right? And we suggest you start to choose your notes more consciously and more carefully to orchestrate the lifestyle that you want to have and the experience you want to have. So that's our stream for today, everyone. Thank you for joining us and sticking around. We greatly appreciate you, everyone here. Please remember to share and like and comment and spread this around so we can get more people on these. And join us on Saturday mornings. Jump on the facebook.com/groups/The Infinity Matrix to get on our VIP. And remember, we dare you to be exceptional. Make 2022 the year where you use the content and the hacks we give you to actively start to master the art of designing your reality. Be well, everyone. Thanks for showing up.
Thank you.
Okay, Stephanie, I'll repeat the quote. So the quote is, by words, the mind is excited and the spirit elated. All right, so we'll leave you all with that, and we will see you on the next stream. Thanks, everyone. Be well.